Hi, I'm Annika, and today we're going to be talking about the Listen, Read, Discuss pre-reading strategy, also known as the LRD pre-reading strategy. I'm going to implement this particular strategy into a 6th grade social studies classroom, but it can be used in a variety of different classrooms and grades. Prior knowledge that students must require in order to do the Listen, Read, Discuss pre-reading strategy would be knowing how to use a graphic organizer. Now I'll go into explaining exactly what the Listen, Read, Discuss pre-reading strategy is. It's a comprehension strategy. It builds students' prior knowledge before they read the text. In the first stage of the LRD pre-reading strategy, students listen as you present the content of the reading through a lecture. You're normally going to pair this with a graphic organizer so that they can organize any thoughts and lecture that you talk about in class. Second, students will read and compare what they learned. And third, you will discuss as small groups and as a classroom about the reading that you just did. The benefits of using the Listen, Read, Discuss strategy is that it's a powerful tool for engaging struggling readers and early English learners in classroom discussions. Students can gain a surface level of understanding about the reading. On the contrary, this is very time intensive and you have to be selective about what you're providing your students. Now I'll be explaining how exactly you create a Listen, Read, Discuss pre-reading strategy. First, obviously, you're going to present the lecture on the content and include the graphic organizer for students to use. Next, you're going to read. Well, students are going to read. They're going to read the selection, guided by the idea that the reading may provide another understanding or interpretation of the content. And then lastly, discuss. We will lead a classroom discussion of the material and encourage the students to reflect on the differences between their reading and your presentation. I provided you an example so that you can have more clear idea. So in this book, students can learn about Lewis and Clark. Before they actually read the text in the social studies textbook, you can lecture them like so. Thomas Jefferson, our third president, had been fascinated by some of the undiscovered lands in the West. He asked the question, who was there? Did the Missouri River lead to the Pacific? And what was the land like? He commissioned the expedition after the Louisiana Purchase to explore the new territory and find a practical route across the western half of the continent and establish an American presence. He sent Meriwether Lewis and William Clark as explorers. It took them over 2 years, but they made it back to St. Louis, sharing their discoveries of plants, animals, and the land. They did not make it to the Pacific, but they did map an area that would open future exploration. And then you can provide students with a graphic organizer, like so. This asks, what was it? The Lewis and Clark expedition. Who was involved? Thomas Jefferson, Meriwether Lewis, William Clark, and Sacagawea. Where? Into the Louisiana Territory and down the Missouri River. And what was their purpose? Search for a water route to the Pacific, establish relationship with Native Americans, pay attention to the soil and face of the country. And lastly, what might this look like? And students are provided a space to draw an idea of what they think the exploration was like. That's just one example. And like I said before, this can be implemented into any classroom in any grade, but I particularly chose a 6th grade social studies classroom. Thank you.